जीवन एक ज्वाला है, जीवन एक ज्वाला है, जलने दो, जलने दो.
So today we are going to talk about Buddha's Eightfold Path and how we can minimize or eliminate suffering in our life.
Yeah, sure, Amitav. I think what prompted us to do about Buddha, because we are not Buddhist scholars. We love Buddha, we love his teachings. However, Buddha Purnima is coming, and this is our tribute to Buddha Purnima or Buddha and Buddhist philosophy, and that's what prompted us to do this. And personally, I think his contribution is really immense and amazing. But a couple of contributions which I feel like touches my heart is sadhana and dhyan and zen, which came out of the word dhyan, in Japanese area. And I've been to some of the areas where there is Buddhist predominant, like in India, Leh was one of the things. That's where I did a Zen retreat, which was just amazing experience for a few days, actually 3 days. And it was really the best way to acclimatize as well, because you were doing in silence and not talking to anyone and eating good shakahari, healthy food. And it is an experience. But one thing I noticed, and it is also true in many of the Indian cities as well, that it's not just kind of you and me doing something. It's like they created a whole system. So you walk in Leh, you will find these prayer wheels, on chalks, on kind of crossroads. So you are tempted to go there and kind of go around. There is many monasteries all around, and the whole atmosphere, the whole environment is so serene. And same if you go to some of the areas in Japan, whether it is Tokyo, Kyoto, or any other place, you have that feel when you go in those places, temples. It's like something comes and surrounds you. I mean, you have that feeling of sereneness. Or his contribution is amazing and huge, and the philosophy, Buddhist philosophy, has also prospered in the last many years. So that is one thing. But what we wanted to talk, we had thought, given the limited time we have, is first we are our thoughts. That's how Dhammapada starts. And you can see in my kind of little book of libraries, the series here, and you can see this. So Osho did a work on, talk on Buddha and Dhammapada. And I will read from this one, and before we start, the first, how the book starts. And it is, we are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. Speak or act with an impure mind, and trouble will follow you, as the wheel follows the ox that draws the cart. We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world. Speak or act with a pure mind, and happiness will follow you, as your shadow unshakable. And I know you love this start, Amit, from our conversations. It's like live with negative thoughts or live with positive thoughts. That's how I interpret it. And thoughts will kind of shape your life, and not only your life around you.
Yeah, extremely important to realize an age which is far, far removed from our time, how he understood by he I mean Buddha, how he understood the thoughts, its process into action, and how to purify. So he says that thoughts will come in hordes. How we process those thoughts and how we choose them to translate into action. And that's a very important part. And basically, it comes down to thought management by discretion.
No, I think that's the word, thought management. Because from the medical point of view, we are both doctors, and there is research there that at any given time, you have between 40 and 60 thoughts in your mind. Now, which thoughts do you want to pick up and make your primary thought? And that's what I think Buddha is talking about, right? Do you choose to pick up the negative thoughts? There are many people who tend to do that. Or do you want to not have those negative thoughts predominate your life? And I think it's kind of unburdens you. The moment you let them go, you are open to moving forward with a fresh, clear mind. I mean, that's my take on it. It's the negative thoughts will bog you down. And some people probably enjoy being bogged down.
This is also mentioned in one of my favorite Native American proverbs that we have got two wolves within us, the good and the evil,
Yeah.
and depends upon which one you feed and nurture. These thoughts different kinds of thoughts will come from our perception of different objects. May it be a living being, that object, may it be an inanimate object whom we like material things, or even to the extreme of certain ideologies or certain words like that.
Yeah.
As we perceive them through our perceptive organs, it goes into our mind. It's continuously feeding our mind, and different thoughts arise. Now, we have to choose by discretion which one is beneficial, which one is harmful, and act them accordingly. For that discretion, the mind has to be very, very sharp. As if we look at the Four Noble Truths, Buddha does say that suffering is an integral part of our living in our life. Okay, it's our perception and the desire, which he calls dukkha, okay, leads to suffering, and we have to stop them. He says in the third noble truth, nirodha, we have to stop those negative ones. And then he shows what are the eightfold path to get rid of this suffering.
So you mentioned about the Four Noble Truths. Can you just at least mention them so that people who, can refresh their mind?
Sure. The first one is suffering is a part of life. Okay? It is our desire. Okay? It is our expectation that causes suffering. The Pali word has been used as tanha, which is thirst. The thirst for certain things that leads to suffering. And we have to stop that. That's the third truth, which is nirodha. And the fourth one is the margam, the path, the eightfold path.
No. So I will go back to our thought, that we are our thoughts, and the positive thoughts and negative thoughts, and how some of us probably love to be, just love the negative thoughts, or existing with negative thoughts. And the reason I said that is like I had a dream. You were half awake and half asleep, and it's like there was a problem going on. I was on a train, but instead of trying to get out of the problem, it's like you keep dreaming the same problem going on, for hours and hours and hours. And I remember a Zen story, and Zen stories, you never know if it was a true story or it was a made-up story to tell the story or tell the message. Is that somebody like you and I went to a Zen master in kind of Japan, and he was looking for an answer. And his question was, I want to be happy. And how do I become happy? And he has been to many masters, and he goes to this Zen master who keeps talking about other things and doesn't address his question. And he's getting impatient now. And that impatience is kind of showing, even though he's quiet and with his head down, but it's kind of showing in his body language. Anyway, the session finishes. It has been an hour, 2 hours, and he's listening to many things, but his question is not being answered. So he is leaving there, and the Zen master writes something on that piece of paper and gives it to him. So he goes with that piece of paper. He doesn't know Japanese, so he shows someone else. And he says, what does it say? And it simply says, I don't want to be happy. So I think there is many of us want to stay with the negative thought because we don't want to be happy. And in the first verse, Buddha says that get rid of that impure mind or that negativity, and it's there. Now you have a positive life, you have a clear mind, you're not carrying any baggage, and it's bound to bring happiness. What is his eightfold path to get there, right?
First of all, this eightfold path is a whole picture. It is not a sequential functioning. In other words, those eightfold paths are this structural part. The functioning part is how the thoughts come, how you choose the preferences, and how you do the actions. So it's sequential. It's almost like physiology of functioning. Is basically the idea is to remove suffering.
Yeah.
So the first part is the assessment of these thoughts and the decision.
And that's what you call samyak drishti, right? Right view.
Samyak sankalp, the right view and the right intention.
Yeah. So both come. So okay, two of them. Okay. Yeah. So your understanding should be clear.
Absolutely.
And then sankalpa. I mean, there is no real English word for that. I love this word sankalp, and sankalp can be short term. Like you can have a sankalp like, I will not eat for 1 hour, and then you complete it. Or you can have a whole day, or it's like when we do puja in India, there is a sankalp that you make just for the duration of the puja. So this short term, it's like resolutions, you can say. It's not like New Year resolution for the whole year, but you can just cater it, according to your time frame or your life. So this right intention is a very important thing because you're making a commitment. So you're not just have a viewpoint, but you are making a commitment to do something.
Yeah, it is something of a combination of intention to resolution.
Intention, resolution, commitment. I think they all three fall into sankalpa.
Now, the second part is the purification of the mind, or purification of these thoughts. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in that there are three.
Yeah.
Sammak Smriti, which is right awareness or mindfulness.
Yeah.
Then the second one, that group is Sammak Vyam, which is the mental exercise.
Yeah, it's Vyayam. So it sounds like physical exercise, which we also call Vyayam, but this is more like mental exercise. Yeah.
That's right. And the third one in that group is Sammak Samadhi. Now, Samadhi in this sense is totally different from Samadhi of what we understand in Hindi philosophy. Here, it is right concentration, where you have eliminated.
But right concentration can lead to real Samadhi too. So.
Yes,
So
Yes, but
it's
here
kind
it
of,
may,
it's like a scale, not the end point, but it's kind of, it's like several ladders. So you can start from concentration and move up, right? Yeah.
that's right. But at the mind level, these things are now important for purification.
Yeah.
In other words, they are right mindfulness,
Yeah.
right mental exercise, and right concentration. So, sammak smriti, sammak vyam, sammak samadhi. Now, after this assessment decision and purification of mind comes the action.
Yeah.
Okay, and here there are three, which is sammak bak, which is the right kind of speech.
Speech. Yeah. Walk. Yeah.
Okay, what we say, how we communicate, that's important. Okay,
Yeah. I
samyak
mean,
karma,
I think,
how we,
Amitabh, before we move on from Samyak Vak, I think this is what you say, this verbal, it's like you can use what you tell people, you can use it as a weapon, right? The value of this, what you speak, is so immense. I mean, some people claim that Mahabharat war started because what Draupadi said to Duryodhan, or what Draupadi laughed. In a sense, what I'm saying is that this right speech or right, communication, verbal communication, is a very important thing. It happens in our life, when we work as well. You might say something that will get you fired from your job. I'm not saying that you have to restrain yourself and you never object but whatever you say, think about before you say it. Or some people say just sleep over it. You don't have to react. And nowadays, even email is kind of is a matter of communication. You don't have to answer that then and there. So instead of calling it restraint, you're not holding something, but you are what you always say, discretion. You are deliberating and then giving a proper response. Is that what samyak should be thought as?
yes, I think it says the word is vakya, or which means sentence, okay. But I think you can, in modern day, you talk about it as communication,
Right.
balanced communication. Okay, balanced communication. Your body language can be a communication, okay? Okay, it doesn't say anything, but it means a lot, okay? So, how we communicate with others, okay, is to be thought over. And we can do that only when we have purified our mind according to Buddha, or we have thought it over and then we say the things or communicate the things. It's not impulsive, it is a well decided. That's the point about Sammak Vyak.
I think we have completed all the Eightfold Paths. So I think
Just a minute, Krishna. We did not
go
finish
ahead.
in that group the Sammak Karma, the right action,
Oh yeah, that's right.
and then Sammak Ajiva, which is the right profession, where you practice all these things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what you speak, or communication, and then your profession and your action.
yes, how you communicate, how you act, okay,
What
and
job you
how
do.
your action translates into your profession. Sammak
I mean, he's
Ajiva.
pretty comprehensive. It's like I don't know if there needs to be any improvement on that. I think he's covered complete our whole lifestyle, or everyone's lifestyle is covered in that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where the brilliance is. This, and I try to group it, although it is present, Eightfold Path is all the time mentioned, but it is a it's presented in totality. What is striking is that an individual can do it without any supernatural help. It is a potential of the human nature to do it. Okay, and that's where Buddha's entire brilliance is. It's an individual-oriented suggestion. So I say that Buddha is the first self-help guru.
No, it's self-help, and it's a great self-help. And yes, for an individual, it's great. I'm sure Buddha also forms sangha, so it is group. The power of group, action or meditation or sadhana is there. And some people even say that Tibet was an experiment, that, right up on the mountains, and all this sadhana and all these things can percolate down. It's like trickle-down economics or trickle-down spiritualism. Not sure if that experiment is still going on, or success or failure, because you don't know success and failure in short span of life, our span of life. So basically, what we covered for putting it together is we covered about the power of thoughts and the thought management, that somehow negative thoughts can bog you down, positive thoughts can lift you up or free you up. I like the word free you up.
Yes.
And then 4 noble truths. The first one is dukkha, or the second one is the cause of that dukkha, and third is the cure for the dukkha, and then the fourth one is the path. And then we did the Eightfold Path, which you put 3 groups. Can you give just the grouping, the 3 groupings that you did again?
The first group is how we assess all the thoughts and and our decision.
Right.
So in that comes sammak drishti, which is the right view, and sammak sankalp, and our intent or resolution.
Yeah.
From that.
Okay.
Second group is purification of these thoughts of the mind, which includes sammak smriti, which is right awareness or mindfulness. Sammak vyam means a good mental exercise to analyze them.
Yeah.
And sammak samadhi, which is the right kind of concentration.
Right.
Then it translates, this is the stage of purification of the mind. Then comes the righteous action. And righteous action involves sammak ba, which is the right kind of speech, sammak karma, which is the right kind of action, and sammak ajiva, which is the right kind of profession where you perform this preferred action.
I think that sums it up, 2, 3, 3. And that's it. And I think grouping is important. And that way, I think you can also remember it easier and also have a purpose, usually it's not in one order or the other that I know of. But, putting that 3 groups, it's kind of makes it easier for people to, understand and follow. Again, Buddha Purnima is a great day, and if you believe or if you meditate on Buddha Purnima. That really is a great day, because all the kind of stars are aligned for you to go into meditation. And we will continue our Gita series and go from there.
Today's discussion throws some light on our thought process and thought management, which will help also in our subsequent discussions as we delve into Gita again. And Buddha Purnima is forthcoming. It is celebration of a great mind. Even 3,500 years back. It is amazing how a man at that time thought about an individual's exploration of thoughts. and we bow to it.
We bow to it. Amitav, what I heard about, he got enlightened, and then for 3 days he didn't speak. And it's like one of the thing I read, and Osho said that, is that one thing is to get the knowledge, get the enlightenment, and communication is another thing. And Buddha was able to communicate what he got. And that's what you are saying. How did he think of how to put it into this, simple steps like 4 Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, and then the Dhammapada, which starts with, we are our thoughts. A great start and a great, it makes sense. It's like our mind is something that the more we think about it, the more we deliberate. And it has been great for us because in preparing for all this, how to communicate what we have learned from Gita or from, simple things from Buddha, we are also kind of, it's helping us crystallize our thoughts.
Sure. I mean, if you look at in Gita, Arjun asked Krishna, Chanchalam Hemana Krishna, that verse. Okay. Yeah. In mind, it's all clouded with different kind of thoughts. And this Dhammapad's first 2 verses explains that too.
Yeah.
So with this background, we will delve into Gita once again. But once again, as I say, let's celebrate Buddha's thoughts and his teaching.
जीवन एक ज्वाला है, जलने दो